One of the biggest lies sold to men is that muscles and mass is gonna get them more women. They're gonna become more attractive once they insert a specific goal, i.e., I'm gonna get to 100 kg, I'm gonna, be able to bench 140 kilos, I wanna squat 200 kilos. And this is something that I genuinely fell victim to. In, I think it was 2020, I focused on a massive bulk where I was genuinely eating 5,000 to 6,000 calories every single day. I was 90 kilograms. I was 20% body fat. And for some silly reason, I told myself I wanted to be 100 kilos, right? Now, I already wasn't getting the attention from women that I wanted. And I, at the time, didn't know why. I was, 20% body fat, but I was very strong. And I was getting sort of positive reinforcement from other guys telling me, yeah, man, you're in crazy shape. You're in great shape. I would go out to clubs and get tens of compliments from random guys, but I'd never ever get compliments from women. Now, I, at the time, didn't put two and two together. Because of the compliments from men, I thought, hey, the women are just not saying, and they're not happy to say it out loud. I learned now that's a complete lie. Women are very, honest and very blunt once you are the man that they desire. But back to it, I was in the gym genuinely pushing 140 kilos. I mean, I used to shoulder press 50 kilos each arm for reps. I was incredibly strong. And I had this goal of reaching 100 kilos. And I never quite reached it because at 5'11" with, my current physique, basically, hitting 50 kilos wasn't, or hitting 100 kilos wasn't something that was physically possible, but I did get damn close. I got to 97 kilograms. Now, after I reached 97 kilograms, I thought to myself, well, it's only logical. I'm a bodybuilder. What do we do after we've bulked up? We go on a cut. Now, I started cutting at around 3,000 calories, 3,500 calories, and I was losing weight relatively fast because I just, fired up my metabolism so high. And within about 2 months, I had lost nearly 10 kilograms and I looked significantly better. I was very happy with what I saw in the mirror. And it was then and only then that I started to realize something. And this is around 2000. I was on a bulk for about a year. So this is in my university days, I think 2021, maybe 2022. I can't actually remember off the top of my head. It's quite some time ago. But I remember that after dropping the 10 kilos and getting to about 88, I had women starting to compliment me. And I didn't really pay close attention to it at first. I thought, hey, maybe it's just the time of the year, whatever. Now, I'm looking back at it now and I realized it was entirely to do with the fact that I had leaned out. I had made myself more attractive. And this is what I like to call body game. And now this is not a term that I have invented. Body game is simply leveraging your physique in order to have a better dating or better success with women in general. And the reason I like to talk about this is because I went through it myself. I genuinely believe that getting compliments from men and being told that my physique was incredible was the right path. But it was only when I started receiving compliments from women, being told, oh, you look so good, you're in great shape, when in actual fact, I was smaller. And the truth is, women don't care about your mass. They don't care about your size. What they care about is the shape and the frame. And that is why I advocate that every single man needs to build a lean, aesthetic V-taper physique. The key word being lean, because lean is absolutely and entirely law if you want to get an attractive woman. Now, the priority should be, yes, getting lean enough that the muscles that you've built are now visible. And the key muscles that you want to focus on are the ones that are going to create the V-taper. That is where your waist is narrow and your shoulders are wide. You need to have, arms that fill out a t-shirt, chest that pops, a back that looks nice from behind, and shoulders that, accentuate that V-taper physique. It's very important that you don't, work out too much of the wrong muscles, i.e. building massive traps or building huge quads. That shouldn't be the priority. The priority should be to build a sort of physically sound and visually sound physique, something that is very proportionate. That is what women are going to be attracted to a shape that is aesthetic and proportionate and ultimately lean. Of course, getting lean is going to change your physique. Absolutely. It's incredible what it does for your abs and for your striations and for your arms. But something that not enough guys talk about is what it does for the part of the body that isn't covered at any point unless you're a criminal, and that's going to be your face. You get a very attractive face when you lean it out, when you've got a visible jawline, when you've got hollow cheeks, when you aren't, a complete bloat lord stuffed with sodium and water retention and fat. The most aesthetic and attractive face can only be achieved when a man is very lean, and not just the 15% lean, oh yeah, he's not in bad shape. No, I'm talking about the 10 to 12% body fat. That is when your face genuinely achieves true sort of alpha Chad look, right? And for most guys, they haven't got a problem with being ugly. They are just too fat. I would challenge any man to get in great shape and tell me that they're ugly. It's very difficult to do. So of course, as you get lean, your face is going to improve, your physique's improving, but there are other things too. There's more and more that you stand to gain when you get lean. Think about the foods that you need to eat in order to achieve a lean aesthetic physique. It's going to be whole foods. It's going to be healthy, high protein, highly nutritious meals that are going to do wonders for your skin, that are going to do wonders for your hair, that are going to do wonders for the way that you glow and your energy and your hormones. All of these things will make you more attractive, both internally and externally. And genuinely, women care about these things. So yes, muscles and face is just one layer, but this getting in shape and having a lean aesthetic physique starts to transcend other areas of your life. For example, the clothes that you are now capable of wearing, the fashion, should genuinely improve. You should be able to pull off clothes, nice fitted t-shirts, nice straight leg trousers, nice pair of loafers. You should be able to pull these off with so much more style and so much more poise. And that is what generates attraction. I didn't notice it at the time, but when I started getting these compliments from girls, I was starting to wear better clothing because, I wasn't wearing an oversized t-shirt and I wasn't wearing super tight jeans or, jeans or trousers and cargos that would cover the way I look. I started wearing fitted t-shirts because, my belly wasn't protruding. I was wearing, nicer shoes because I thought, hey, look, this nice t-shirt will go with these nice shoes. You start to care about more things. The physique is like, the lowest hanging fruit. And once you've reached the lowest hanging fruit, you start to reach for more. You start to pull more levers that make you more attractive. And if, you are someone that wants to start pulling all these levers and you're like, I don't really know where to start with the physique. It will start to improve other areas. So yes, all of these things start to stack up and you start to get wins. You start to, have a better physique. Your face improves, your energy improves. Therefore, you're going to be more comfortable wearing, nicer clothing, the more fitted t-shirts, the more straight leg trousers. And along with that, you start looking after your dental care. All these things that you don't think are linked start to link up and you realize, hey, hang on a second, I want to win the same way with my physique. I want to win in other areas too. And what does that do for your confidence? Your confidence starts to drive up. You start to get, more compliments from women. You're getting evidence that what you're doing is working. You're getting evidence that you are now attractive. You're getting women throw themselves at you. That is why I stress that the fact that you need to start with the physique, the rest will trickle and the rest will benefit you. But if you're like someone who's like, I don't even know where to start, I don't know what to do, what I suggest you do is click the link in my description, get access to my completely free training where I break down my 2-second method to become the most attractive version of yourself. Work on your presentation, work on your physique, and work on your game in order to attract a beautiful woman or beautiful women that you can date. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next one.